one of the things we would like to talk about is a follow up to the whole situation with Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James. Mike and I have had conversations, and I've had different conversations with different people. And I will say that some of the things that I've heard, it's not like I didn't expect to hear them, but I thought that they were kind of, I think it's low hanging fruit where, they want to tell you about how, this is a black man that should not be scrutinized in such a way for what's happening. And we need to stop doing this and stop doing that. And I'm like, well, first of all, this had nothing to do with him being, to me, a black man, because as a black man, I will say this had everything to do with him being, wrong, right, wrong, or indifferent. As a man, we have to learn when we made a mistake, and we have to admit it. Not now. I'm not saying LeBron has done anything as a father as a mistake because I have no idea of knowing that. I've said that as much so on the last episode. But what I will say is, when is he going to take accountability for the things that he did wrong, as far as being a even much to say a manager, right? As a teammate.
Dad,
What?
this motherfucker don't even take responsibility on the court. What
No,
makes
he
you think
don't.
he gonna do it? Like, let me, Jesus Lord.
All I'm saying is that there are things that we have to take accountability for. And sometimes we realize it, but we're too stubborn to take accountability for it. And sometimes we don't realize it. And we still don't want to take accountability for it. We'll try to blame others for what happened. What LeBron essentially did, and I don't think he did it on purpose, he was being a proud father. And he was trying to uplift his son in the moment where he put that tweet out about how his son was better than half the players in the NBA. I get it. But you could have did that without putting it out there for everybody to see. You could have just went to your son and told him that in private. Instead, now you've given him a target on his back, not only from the public viewing eye, you know, now you've given it to a target on his back to everybody in the NBA, especially some of those guys who didn't get drafted, who thought they should have been drafted in that position. And now, maybe they got on with another team. Now they're looking to make a name for themselves because of this, right? I don't think anything that Stephen A. said was wrong in that. Maybe he could have came out instead of saying, I'm asking you. I think that's how he said it was. I'm asking you as a father. Maybe he should not have said that, but who's
That's
to
the
say?
part.
Who's
That's
to
the
say?
part that. That's the part that I guess LeBron was like referring to. But even then, I'm just like I get it, but at the same time, it's like, was it really that deep? Like,
I think he made it that deep, and the
that's what I'm
problem is,
saying. Like,
with other people who are now trying to, capitalize on top of this, shame on you. Because what you're doing is you're trying to make it into a black thing now. And what they said was, well, how come LeBron, and I'm saying this from both sides, how come LeBron didn't go after those white reporters who said that stuff about him, or who have said something similar, or who have taken, how come he didn't take umbrage with those people? Those guys that had those types of things to say about him who were white. And then there was other sides who said, well, Stephen A shouldn't be doing that. He's a brother. He's tearing another brother down. This is now. I said, so no matter what, you can't say nothing about LeBron, no matter what.
here's the
So
thing.
either LeBron's going to be wrong or he's going to be right. And either Stephen A Smith is going to be wrong or he's going to be right. But the problem is that no matter what the hell did it have to do with what color the person was? What
Yeah, and then
what did it have to do with that? This is
on
about a
top of that,
this is about a ball player. This wasn't about
yeah,
a black father. This wasn't about a white reporter. This wasn't about none of that. Now, people took it deeper than that, and I get it because that's clicks, right? They get clicks for that. Clicks, right? That's clickbait shit. But to me, it had nothing to do with that. It had everything to do with the fact that he put something out there that eventually winds up hurting his son in the meantime, right? Not, this is just right now. We don't know how it'll affect him later. But for right now, it hurt him where now everybody is taking and scrutinizing Bronny because he hasn't been very good. But there's not a lot of guys in the second round who are going to be very good. You got to give him time to grow. He's young.
No, I agree. And then like on top of that, though, like the whole thing with him and Stephen A.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they've really gotten along over the years. And then
Okay.
you got a lot of LeBron like supporters or like his former teammates talking about how like LeBron or Stephen A. been talking shit about LeBron, but he hasn't been talking shit about him. He's been talking about him not being the GOAT and compared to Michael.
That's
That's
the
not a
problem.
personal attack. But that's not a personal attack.
Exactly. That's not a
So
personal
when
attack.
people so when people be like, well, Stephen A been talking all this mess on LeBron all this time, but I'm like, yeah, in terms of basketball, not personally.
Yeah.
Like
That's what I'm
he doesn't
saying.
attack the man personally. Like y'all take one thing and then flip it and turn it into another thing that
Well,
ain't got
that's be
nothing to do with the topic at hand. When
yeah.
we talk about LeBron, like everybody knows I'm not really a LeBron guy, right?
Yeah.
But when I talk about LeBron, I'm not talking about him as a man or as a father or a husband or personally. I don't know the man.
No.
I'm just speaking on when he walks on that court and his game. That's it. That's all we can talk about.
Yeah.
And
I
then
can
like
call
people just people just weird when it comes to that, man. Like
the
because
problem
they'll
is
compare it.
I was
I
gonna
was just gonna
say
say real quick.
go ahead.
They'll compare it. What they'll do is that what I've noticed about LeBron fans or supporters is that they can't really critique Jordan's game. So what they do is they critique him off the court in terms of his gambling problem, the situation with his dad, or the whole like the stuff going on with his sons and stuff like that. And then they'll
Yeah.
compare it and be like, well, look at what LeBron does off the court. But that
Yeah.
ain't got nothing to do with basketball. I don't give a
No.
damn what Jordan does off the court. We
Yeah.
talking basketball, bro. He could smoke cigars and go sniff cocaine after the game for all I care. If he's doing what he's doing on the court still at the end of the day, who cares? So like, yeah,
I
this
mean,
is weird, man.
I care because of what it means as far as a role model goes, but at the same time, look, let's put it like this.
I have a
I,
pushback to that though.
but I'm just saying I
Because
can see it because as
cause
a
but
role
here's the
model,
thing
that's what they'll say.
but
They'll
here's the
go
thing
after that.
because but here's the thing. We shouldn't, and this is the one thing that I will say when it comes to the black community, we're looking to these rappers, sports players, or anybody that's in entertainment to be
Yeah.
role models for kids when you shouldn't be doing that anyway. Yeah, it's cool. If you want to do that, that's fine. But expecting these dudes to just be that and that not be doing certain things. Like at the end of the day, these men are grown. They're grown ass men. Just because
Yeah.
they, go out and do certain things doesn't mean that they're a bad influence on your kids. No, you need to be the role model for your kids.
Yeah. And I
You
was
don't expect you shouldn't expect these people on TV to be role models. I think I don't necessarily agree with that.
but here's the problem though. Even though that's true how it should be, we all know it's not. And the fact of the matter is no matter what, you're going to get criticized about something. It doesn't matter what it is, right? If you're
No, I agree with that.
in the public eye, you're going to be criticized for something. Here's the thing: I can't criticize for, like you said, LeBron for as a father or as a man or as a husband or even a philanthropist because I don't know him. Only thing
Yeah,
I ever know about
exactly.
LeBron is what he puts as a product out on the court. That's it. Same thing goes for any of his teammates. Same thing goes for anybody else in the NBA. That's the only thing I know about them. But I will say this: you cannot say anything bad about LeBron's game without people trying to come for you, right? And I will just tell you, a disagreement or a difference of opinion does not make a person a hater. I have said this
Bro,
once
y'all
before.
gotta stop that.
What you're wanting people to do is you're wanting people to agree with you and tell them that not to use their own brain. When in all actuality, the person that's not using their own brain is the person who says the same thing everybody else does. That to me is a problem. You cannot tell people that they are just haters because they don't agree with you. It's called a difference
Man,
of
that
opinion. It's called a difference
you
of
know it's
opinion.
crazy. You know what's crazy about the whole like LeBron and Jordan thing is that the same thing. Okay, this is what kills me with some LeBron fans, man. The same thing, the same argument they'll use for LeBron over Kobe. They'll go to the stats, right, and look at the per game stats. LeBron pretty much has him beat in every single one of them, and
Okay.
that's what they'll point to, right, as an argument for why he's the better player. He averages more points, rebounds, assists, blah 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 blah.
Per game.
So when I yeah per game, but when that same logic is flipped and you do that for Jordan and him, oh, we're not doing per game stats. Now LeBron has more points total, more rebounds total, more of this, more of that. But I'm like, wait a minute, why can't we use the same logic that you just used for Kobe and LeBron for Mike and LeBron? The only reason why you don't want to is because Mike actually has more in the total stats per game than LeBron does.
Yeah, he
It's
does.
just very it's y'all like to
It's
pick and choose.
inconsistent. It's
It's
inconsistent how they want
inconsistent,
to. Yeah.
very inconsistent. I'm like, wait a minute, you can't pick and choose when you want to use the per game stats because if we're being honest, we have never measured a player's greatness by his accumulative stats ever. We've never done
No.
that.
This man has over 15,000 rebounds, man. He's the greatest rebounder
We've
ever.
never done
We've
that.
never done
We've
that.
never done that.
We've never done that.
John,
Ballers, ballers,
who leads the league in assists? Who leads the league in total assists per all time?
all time per game.
All time. No,
Uh,
not per game. Just
oh,
assist all time.
is it Stockton? I think it's Stockton.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So
And
Stockton.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's a record that I don't think anybody's gonna break anytime soon.
And they
He's at like
probably won't.
15,000. I think it's like 15,000 and some change or
Yeah.
something like that. My point is that nobody
Are you sure he's
ever
still the league
argues.
leader? Are
No,
you
he's
sure
the
he's
leader. He is
okay?
the leader.
I'm
Yes,
just
he is
making
the
sure.
leader. Yeah, he is the leader.
Um,
But my point is that nobody has ever used that argument
no, they haven't.
they've never used that as an argument for him being the best point guard of all time. This
Here's my thing.
accumulative stat, this accumulative stat thing didn't come about until LeBron.
Of course,
That's my
because
only point.
that's the only way you could actually push him over and say that he's the GOAT and have an argument is because
Because
he played more seasons.
Dad, how can you be the GOAT and you don't lead in anything all time per game?
I mean,
He
yeah,
doesn't lead. He doesn't lead in anything per. At least Mike has one points
yeah,
per game. He's the all-time leader in points per game, bro.
yeah. They'll say the
That shows your actual dominance because it's by a per game basis,
and it was
not
per
based
that.
on you playing 25 years. It's not
Yeah.
based on that.
And here's the deal. So they'll come up and they'll say this about, what happened between Stephen A. Smith and LeBron. And I say that this was done the way it was done as a way it's basically a show. I think it was for LeBron more than anything. And I do agree that LeBron could have actually done this off camera. Why are you doing this in the third quarter when you're supposed to be in a huddle with the rest of your teammates acting like you give a damn about the game that's being played? Why are you worried about this right now? You know, I get certain things, but there are certain things I don't get, right? So, to me, that's one thing. And number two, I really wish that people would not do this shit where they try to turn something, that's a nothing burger into something, right? They try to take it and make it into something bigger than what it really is. They had an argument, and it was an argument based upon how LeBron's feelings got hurt. His feelings got hurt because somebody said something about his son. Now, him saying something about his son as a ball player, that's all that was said. LeBron took umbrage with it because he's saying it's an attack on him being a father. And I don't think that's anywhere close to what Stephen A. Smith was saying. So, perception is a motherfucker. It's all about how you want to perceive certain things. And let's be honest, LeBron was being emotional. He was being emotional. He was in his feelings about what was said. And I know I see you smiling about it, but I'm being honest.
It's just the way you said it,
He's
man.
being
And look,
emotional.
I know
He's
LeBron fans gonna get on here and call us haters
maybe
and
they may not even see
whatever,
this,
but
but I'm not here to make you feel better about your king. I'm here to tell the truth about what. Listen, I'm a grown ass man just like these guys are. The same thing with Bronny. Bronny is grown now. He's getting paid millions of dollars to play a grown man's sport in a big boy league, right? This is a big man's league, grown man league. If he's getting criticized for what kind of product he's putting out there on the floor, that's a part of it. That's a part of this game.
that I mean, to sum it up, all Stephen A. did was tell LeBron to not put all that pressure on LeBron. That's really all he
On
said,
Bronny,
really.
yeah.
On
Yeah.
Bronny, yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
meant. Yeah, that's
You
really all he was saying. He was
and
literally saying, LeBron, stop doing this. You're putting unwanted pressure on
unneeded.
Bronny when it's
Unneeded.
not necessary. Yes, that's all
Yeah.
he's saying.
And
It's
and
not
and,
complicated. It's not. It's very simple, bro.
and for
I
and
don't
for
understand what the
those
big deal is.
for those who don't get this, listen, I'm not a LeBron fan. He's not in my top 5. Eesh, I know y'all ain't
Y'all,
gonna like that shit.
oh, y'all gonna hate that. Look,
But at the
I'm not a
same
LeBron guy
time,
either. Yeah.
but
Uh,
at the same time, what I would say is this: he's great as a fucking player, right? He's great,
bro,
but to,
LeBron is one of
but
the greatest basketball players to ever play this game. We won't deny that.
no,
He
he's
is
one of the
one.
most physically gifted basketball players of all time.
I think he's still one of the greatest.
Is he?
I'm not
Is
gonna
he?
say he's the greatest.
Hey, can you name one thing that you could say about LeBron James that you have never seen another athlete been able to do and be dominant? He's
Be
never
this
been a.
dominant for this long.
No, that's what
You
I'm
could give him
saying.
that.
I said great, one of the greatest athletes, one of the greatest physical specimens we've ever seen play this game. I gave him that. But I'm talking about a fucking skill that he has that was dominant in the game of basketball that we have never seen from anybody else or was on the par of some of the greatest we've ever seen of all time. Is there a skill that he has that you can compare him to and say, this dude was dominant at being a rebounder? He was dominant at being a passer of the ball. He was dominant at
I mean,
scoring.
that's what they'll say as far as
But he
him passing the
wasn't.
ball. But you know what's crazy? Hey,
He's
hold
never
on, hold on.
led the
I'm gonna do
league.
it for you. I'm gonna do it for you. I'm gonna do it for you. Listen, listen. This is what I tell LeBron fans, right? And this is for regarding his position. Now, obviously, assist for a small forward slash power forward. You know, I'm not expecting. He's not expected to average the many assists that he does, as far as his position goes, right?
If the ball's in his hands that
Just based
much,
off. Well, hold on. That's why I said just based off his position. But the
okay,
problem is that when you look, and there was this thing I was watching, like when you look at his position, because he's really a small forward. That's his natural
yeah,
position.
yeah,
So, I mean, you're kind of right. Because when you look at his numbers in terms of like rebounds, for example, he's not where he should be as a small forward for rebounds per game. He's actually one of the worst
I know,
rebounding small forwards in NBA history.
I
But you
know,
can't tell LeBron fans that because
exactly.
they're looking at him in the way he plays because he plays more like a guard. because he
Yeah.
has the ball in his hand so much. They're looking at him in that way and not looking at the position he plays. But
Yeah.
even as a guard, he's not amongst the top leaders in assists per game.
No, he's not.
He's not. That's what I'm
No.
saying. So like people talk about, and look, I do think LeBron is a good passer. I think he is a willing passer, but
Hmm.
is he the passer and the floor general that people make him seem to be? No, because he's
No.
not Magic Johnson, and he's not John Stockton, and he's not Chris Paul. I
And they'll
want people to go look, just real quick. I want people to go look at Chris Paul's assist to turnover ratio. Go look at it.
yeah.
It's insane. That
And
man
you know,
does not turn the ball over.
and you know what's fucked up about this is that you're saying this, and they will find a way in their
Of course.
heads to justify their thoughts about why LeBron is the greatest or he's the GOAT, right? But at the same time, you cannot name a time when LeBron, besides that 1 year out of 22, that he was the scoring champion. And it's listen,
He's
you
only
want to
done it.
talk?
No, that was a. You're talking about the assist champion.
I thought he was a scoring champ 1 year.
No, he
I,
wasn't. He was a scoring champ one time, and that was early on in his career.
that's what I was talking about. He did it one time.
Oh, I thought you were saying in 22 he did it.
No, 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 no. In 22 years, he's done
Oh,
it
okay, yeah,
one
you're right, you're
time.
right. Yeah, I think it's
So
with Cleveland when he did that,
yeah,
if I
and
remember
so
right.
if you look at this, this man has never been dominant except for that one season scoring the ball. He's never been dominant. Matter of fact, his points per game, not some of the all-time greats, not as far as
Oh, I'm finna
points
put
per
something
game.
else to bed too. Hold on.
Uh, and if you're going to do that and go by how many accumulative points he has, you also need to do the same thing with how many accumulative turnovers he has, because
Whoa,
he leads
whoa, don't
he
get me, yo.
he leads the
Not to
league.
mention,
He leads the league in
you know what's
turnovers.
crazy? Yeah, he's the all-time leader in turnovers. But you know what's crazy about that? I watched Lonzo Ball say Kobe couldn't be in the GOAT conversation because he has the most shots missed of all time.
Man, listen,
Do you know who has the most shots missed of all time?
it ain't fucking Kobe.
It's LeBron.
Of course, he's played 22 fucking years.
So by that logic, LeBron can't be the GOAT.
I'm just saying that it's their logic
But you
that's
know what they'll
flawed.
do? You know
It's
what
their
they'll do?
logic that's flawed.
You know what they'll do though? They'll be like, well, he's played 20 plus years. But
Yeah.
I'm like,
That
so's
means
Kobe.
what? Yeah.
So did Kobe. Kobe
What does
played
that
21,
mean?
I think 21, 20, yeah, 21 years.
So what does that mean though? At the same time, what you're telling me is that LeBron cannot be criticized. He can't be scrutiny. There can be no scrutiny about how he played, his numbers, any of this shit. It's the same thing you're saying about when it comes to his son not performing very well, and it's okay for LeBron to jump down Stephen A. Smith's throat, talking about that's my son. Keep my son's name out your mouth. Hey, listen, dude, you can't tell a man how to do his job. You can't tell him how to perform his job. His job is to criticize. His job is to report. That's what his job
All
is.
right.
Somebody else pays him to do that. Just like somebody pays you to shoot a basketball and run
I
up and down
just
the court. Same
I
shit.
just want to put something. I just want to put something else to bed, y'all, because I know a lot of LeBron fans. Because you'll bring up the 10 scoring titles that Jordan has, right?
And it'll never be broken. It'll never be
Well,
broken.
here's the thing. Here's the thing when it comes to that. You know, a lot of LeBron fans will be like, "Well, yeah, it's easy to do that when you shoot, 28 times a game." Da, 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 da.
What
Let
was
me
this?
let me debunk that. Hold on. Let me debunk that real quick because I don't know if y'all realize LeBron does have a good field goal percentage, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give him that. But how many of y'all realize that the more LeBron shoots the ball, the worse his field goal percentage gets?
Yep.
I.e., for example, in the what finals year was that? I want to say where'd it go? So the 2014-2015 finals when he was with Cleveland, he averaged 32.7 shots a game.
Hmm.
Guess what his field goal percentage was?
39%.
Right on the money.
And that came from right up here.
39.8% from the field. He
Yeah.
shot 31% from three, 68 from the free throw line. His true field goal or his true shooting percentage was 47.7. Now, let's just compare that to what Jordan was doing in the finals with the same clip of shot attempts, right?
Okay.
So,
Let's do that.
uh, in the let's see, 1992-93 NBA Finals,
Okay.
nigga. Oh, and just by the way, before I say this, LeBron did put up good numbers. He averaged 36 points, 13.3 rebounds, and 8.8 assists.
Okay.
And
Oh, excuse me, people.
I was trying to see, yeah. So good numbers despite the bad shooting percentages.
Gotcha.
Now, like I said, the 1992-1993 finals. This is Jordan put up 33.2 shots a game,
Okay.
which is more than what
Not
LeBron did.
not by much.
Not by much, but
Yeah.
it's a nice little, whatever.
Yeah.
50.8% from the field.
And those were mostly jump
50.
shots. And they were mostly jump
That's
shots, people.
11. That's almost 12% more than
Ooh.
what LeBron. And you know how many points? You know how many points he put up that game or that series?
I want to say that's
41.
yeah, I was gonna say it was like 40 something, yeah.
He put up 41, eight and a half, and six assists a game.
Mm. Mm.
And he shot let me see, 70% from the free throw line.
Mm.
I
And
mean, like,
that was in 93.
yeah, 92, 93.
That would have been up
Oh,
against that would have been up against the
that's his
Phoenix
third
Suns.
championship.
Yeah, Phoenix Suns.
Yeah. And that's what
Yep.
I'm saying. Like y'all keep like there's a argument, there's a counter argument to all of y'all's points because y'all keep saying, well, if LeBron would have shot that many times, he would have averaged the same amount of points with the. No, he wouldn't have. Not with that kind of efficiency, he wouldn't have. Because guess what the difference is between the two? Mike was a jump shooter.
Yeah.
LeBron's not a jump shooter. That's why
Exactly.
Mike was able to keep doing that because he didn't have to always go into the point and use all his energy
Yeah.
to get points in the paint. Mike could pull up, hit that little mid range on a consistent basis, or get you
You
in the post, which
you
conserves energy.
yeah, you know it's funny that you say this is
Like, come on,
because
man, y'all.
we've made this argument before, and the problem is that people don't actually listen to what we're saying, right? And I get it. I understand, because people don't want to look at their heroes that way, right? Listen, I'm a Boston Celtic fan who just happens to be a fucking humongous
He should
fan of Michael
he
Jordan.
should hate, bro. He has every right to hate Michael Jordan, though.
But the problem is that
Like literally.
I fell in love with the game first, right? I fell in love with the game of basketball first. The Boston Celtics came right after that. And right after that came Michael Jordan. I had never seen anybody do what he did. And to this day, you have not seen a man on the professional level do what he was able to do. And the only one that has ever come close to that was Kobe Bryant. I'm sorry. We have to be honest. And the bad part is, he's a Laker, and I don't want to be honest. But I got to respect Kobe. Even through all the shit that I didn't want to give Kobe, I have to understand that's not the love of the game. Because the love of the game will tell you Kobe was that damn good. They say
And
imitation is the greatest form of flattery, right? And Mike
right.
said it. He said the only guys these certain guys he would like to play or he wouldn't like to play. But he said, probably the only one he wouldn't like to play would be Kobe because Kobe steals all his moves. And you just got to understand that Kobe even said it himself. He's the guy, he picked his brain. He always asked Mike, about certain things. He imitated him to a point where it was like you were watching his twin on the court in a different time frame. The problem is that we want to tell ourselves that because a person can stay in the league for so long without a really major injury, which is unheard of. I will give LeBron that. I will give him that. That doesn't mean he's the greatest player I've ever seen. It just means
I will say this.
he's been the greatest athlete I've ever seen in our sport as far as how long he's been able to do this and the way he's been able to do it. He's probably
Yeah, I'll give him credit for that.
the greatest athlete I've ever seen as far as that goes.
To an extent, because to be honest with you, he's been half-ass on defense for the past
Yeah.
7 years.
Yeah, he
So it's
takes
not like
breaks.
he's been going all out. Yeah, he definitely takes breaks on defense.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is when you said we haven't seen anything as far as like the kind of player that Jordan was, I think people don't realize, and as a big Kobe guy, Kobe is my favorite player of all time. That's who I grew up watching. Um, but the difference between even him and Kobe is that they're both volume shooters, right? Mike was
Yeah.
kind of he was kind of I wouldn't say he was the first of his kind. I think he was like, would you say? Because who else was really a volume scorer like that? Like I was thinking Dr. J, but
There really
Dr. J wasn't
there
really
wasn't
shooting.
one
He
like
wasn't
that
really
as a
shooting
shooting
like that.
guard. It wasn't really one like that as a shooting guard.
Yeah,
There
because
was
everybody, all the big players were big men. It wasn't
yeah,
like
there
guards and
wasn't
stuff
really
like
one
that.
like that. You had guys like Clyde who came in, but they weren't. I mean, Clyde was, he was somewhat like that, not quite like that.
See, that's what I was saying. So
Mike
my point is that
he was pretty much the
it was the
first
first
of
of his
his
kind.
kind. Yeah,
So my point is that like Mike changed the narrative in terms of because before it was all about the big men. You
yeah,
had to have a dominant big man in order to be a
true.
champion, in order to win championships. But my point is that like Mike was a volume scorer. Most volume scorers are not efficient. Mike was
No,
efficient. He's the first. He's the only of his kind. Name another volume scorer that shot as many times as Mike did with that efficiency. There isn't one.
there's not.
You can't name one. People will say Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant don't shoot this many times a game. Not even
No.
close. That's what I'm
And
saying.
you couldn't say that about a point guard either because there weren't a lot of point guards
Oh
who were able to
no.
be as efficient as Mike was. I mean, let's be honest about this. Mike is something that we had never seen at that time. And the only person who came close to that was Kobe. He's the only one. He shot a worse percentage as far as volume goes, right? His percentage as far as from the field was a little bit worse than Mike's, but he's the only one who's been on that scale.
This is insane. Check
I
this out. Check this out. So Mike is second all time in attempts per game. Elgin Baylor is first.
yeah,
Now, this is insane because Wilt is the only one who was a center. He's the only one that's above 50%.
mm,
Um, I'm trying to see where to go. So Mike is at 22.3 or 22.9 attempts per game in his career. He shot 49% from the field
mm,
as a two guard.
as a two guard.
The only one that's like, but there's some that are close, but their field goal percentage is not even sniffing. You got Allen Iverson at
Yeah, I
42.5,
was gonna say his
Pete
is lower.
Maravich, yeah, Pete Maravich at 44. You got Luca who's at 47.
Mm.
Um, Jerry West at 47 as well. Uh, like none of these dudes are even close, really.
Yeah, they're not going to be. Like I said, he was the
And then
first of
Mike,
his kind. Jerry West was a volume shooter, and I want to say Jerry West was a two guard, but at the same time, he
I will say though, for his size to average that many points
yeah
and still have that percentage, I will say it's pretty
yeah
impressive still though,
yeah. So
for sure.
you have to look at it like I said for what's real about this whole situation. And I've been alive to see all these great players, right? I've watched Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. I've watched Mike come into the league. I've watched Allen Iverson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant, the LeBron James. I've watched every one of these guys. I've had a chance to sit here and really watch them. And I can tell you, the greatest player I have ever seen play this game was fucking Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
I think you just gotta like if people really just put it in simpler terms and you just look at player for player and what one
Yeah,
can do, and you look at what LeBron can do, you look at what Jordan can do.
yeah.
Bro, Mike doesn't really have any deficiencies in his game, bro.
There's
If
no
you really think
weakness.
about it,
There's no
the
weakness.
only thing that you'll really say is that he wasn't a great 3 point shooter, which
But
none
he
of them
didn't.
are.
But he didn't practice that.
Well,
They didn't. It was
no.
not
I
relevant.
get that. No, I get that, but I'm just saying, like, if you wanted to pick one thing, that would
Okay.
be the thing. That would be the worst part of his game,
And he
right?
shot average for that.
And he was average.
Yeah.
They're both average 3 point shooters. They're not great 3 point shooters, but I will say that LeBron has taken way more
Yeah.
than Mike. I mean, the difference of the game and stuff like that. But other than that, like LeBron, look, he's not a good free throw shooter. That's for one. He's not a good jump shooter, a consistent jump shooter throughout his career. Now he might be better now within the last 2 3 years, but again, at some point, I would think your jump shot should improve after playing 22 years.
You
Like
would
I'm just
hope.
saying, you've been playing since 18. You've been in the league since 18. You
I.
should have a better jump shot, but totality wise,
Yeah.
you
All
have
I
not
would.
been a consistent jump shot shooter in the league. He's
All.
inconsistent on defense.
Yeah.
He was not. I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. He's not a better defender than Mike. At
No.
his peak,
No.
he is not a better. Mike was locked down. He was. This is the thing that people don't understand. Mike was looked at as the best offensive player and arguably the best defensive player in the league as a
Ugh.
guard.
You
I can
can't
make
tell
that
them that.
argument. Like I can
All
literally make that argument, bro.
they won't. They won't
Y'all
listen.
just, bro. Mike averages more blocks per game than LeBron does.
All I will say,
As
and
a two guard, man. Like, come
I'm gonna
on,
get
man.
off of it because I don't really want to spend this kind of time on him. What I will say is
No,
this.
we need to let the people know, man. You got these analysts spreading all this misinformation. They lying. You did you see that part on? I think it was First Take. Just real quick, Shannon Sharp, him and Stephen A. was going back and forth, and then Shannon Sharp had the nerve to be like, uh, "Yo, guy could never be like efficient like LeBron. He don't know what efficiency is or some shit like that." This was like maybe a week or two ago, and I just sat there like, I know he didn't just say that.
Yeah.
Efficiency. Michael Jordan wasn't efficient. See, this is the stuff I be talking about. We got to start calling out these
It's the
so-called
narrative.
analysts.
It's the
It's
narrative.
they're just telling blatant lies, bro. That's a blatant
Yes.
lie.
And they'll
If you
get
want to
these
say
young guys to believe this shit.
yes,
It's sort of
yes,
like I had a TikTok up the other day, and I put on there, uh, the real goat, right? There was a picture of Michael dunking a basketball, and this young guy got on talking about you guys got to quit living in the past. I said the past is, what
bro. I'm a
made you
'90s
guys.
baby. I didn't even really get to watch Mike growing up, so
But
you
I'm
can't tell
saying
me that.
he said you guys got to quit living in the past. I said without the past, there's no future, right? And he said, well, the thing is that you guys want to live there. You can't just continue to live there. You can't make progress that way. I said, yeah, you're right. So why are you guys still wearing Mike's shoes?
Right. Wearing retros at
You're
that.
wearing the shit that I was wearing in high school, nigga. I hate.
Bro,
I shouldn't have said that, but I'm being for real.
I tell niggas all the time, I'm like, y'all doing all this LeBron riding, and y'all ain't got one pair of LeBrons in y'all closet. Ain't none but J's in
But
there.
not only that, but they don't have a signature shoe that didn't come from my era. You don't have a signature shoe besides the Kobe's. Besides the Kobe's. He does not have a signature shoe that did not. Most of these guys who are fucking basketball fans, they don't have a signature shoe that did not come from my era. Let's be honest. Most of these guys are wearing the Jordans and they're all retros. Think about it.
Most of these shoes is retro.
That's what I'm saying. You have
That's
not
crazy.
one original idea when it comes to fashion, when it comes to the way we
This
did
nigga had to
shit.
make this nigga had to make Space Jam too, and these niggas talking about he the goat.
That's
How
what I'm
you the goat?
saying.
You can't come up with your own goddamn movie.
I
You can't
mean,
come up with your own number. You can't come up with your own damn movie. Like,
you should have named it
come
La
on,
Flop.
man.
You should have named it La Flop, the musical.
Oh, they gonna hey, LeBron fans gonna hate this video.
I'm just
Oh,
saying. To me, there's
by
no
the
way
way,
in hell you can ever say those things to me and not understand that what I'm seeing you do is take things from my era and try to assimilate them into your era. That's not where it came from. It came from my era. That's why I
nobody
said,
care about that old. Nobody care about that old nigga shit, man. I'm just
is that what we doing? Is that what we doing?
I'm dead. Nah, man, like y'all. That's what I'm saying. I get you don't want to spend this much time on LeBron, but at the same time, we gotta start calling these dudes out. Shannon Sharp, I'm calling you out. You probably ain't never gonna see this, but you a liar. You just blatantly lied on
He's
national
on the
TV,
payroll.
on
He's on the payroll.
ESPN. You just blatantly lied and said that Michael Jordan wasn't efficient. That is a blatant,
He's on the
bold
payroll.
faced lie.
He's on the
Stop it.
payroll. You know
Stop
they
it. You
told
need to
him that
stop.
they told him, hey, we gonna probably, we're gonna probably have to cut your stipend for your Black and Miles and your Le Chez Portier. We may not be able to send you none of that this week
You know what's crazy about
if you
that
don't say the
too?
right thing.
You know what's crazy about that? Like, bro, Mike didn't even shoot threes. This nigga still averages more points than Kevin Durant, LeBron, Steph Curry, Wilt Chamberlain. He averages more points than
They've
Wilt
got an
Chamberlain. I want y'all to
excuse.
think about that for a
They've
second. I want y'all
they've
to think
got
about
an
that for a second.
excuse. They got an
Wilt
excuse for that.
Chamberlain at one point he averaged 50 points a game.
Uh huh. Excuse me.
50. He averages more points than that man. It might not be by a lot, which it isn't. It's by barely like a
Yeah.
smidge, but still. And then you got to think about the fact that like those 2 years in Washington really dampened his points per game. If he wouldn't have never came back, his points per game would be like I think it's like 32 points per game,
Yeah.
or something like that, almost 33. But like y'all gotta start using y'all brain. Y'all gotta quit following this media stuff, man. Y'all they lying to you straight up.
All I can tell you
But
is
I'm done
that
now.
no matter what, I just want people to understand that in the pros, even in college, the press's job is to ask the tough questions and to critique what they see out there on the court. The difference is between an analyst or a reporter and a fan is that the reporter or the analyst has to be unbiased. As a fan, you don't have to be. You can be as biased as you want, right? And that to me tells me everything I need to know when it comes to people who are hating on Stephen A. Smith about what happened between him and LeBron. Because what they're telling me is that they can't separate their fandom from the truth. Because that would mean that they would have to basically admit to themselves that this was, a part of LeBron. This is he had some accountability in this. not as being a father, but just as you made this worse by saying things that maybe shouldn't have been said to the public, right? Sometimes you gotta, you know, just be quiet. And that's any man will tell you that. Hell, we've all had to deal with that shit. Sometimes it's best just to shut up. Don't say nothing. Or keep it close to yourself. Keep it close to the vest. Don't let nobody hear what you got to say that's for somebody else. Let it just be between you two, which is what should have happened. It should have just been between a father and a son.
Because now it's this whole thing that then blew up, and everybody got their own,
Yeah,
opinions on it. And I just want
exactly.
to say this. I just want to give a message to LeBron fans, just real quick.
Oh God.
Y'all better, y'all better hope that Luka Doncic don't win a few championships. That's all I'm gonna say.
I
Don't
sure
let him win
hope.
a few
Hey,
championships.
I hope
Don't
you don't.
don't let him win.
I
I'm
hope
talking
you
about
don't win
like in the
none.
future because I don't think they're gonna win like
No,
this
I'm
year
saying
or
I
even
hope you
maybe
don't
even
win
next
none
year.
at all in LA. Fuck that.
No. Listen, when LeBron gone, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
I'm not.
No. Seriously though, I'm being dead ass though. Y'all better hope that man don't win a few championships because if we going by y'all's logic, just saying,
Mm,
he, bro, he's literally on LeBron's like. If we just looking at his numbers,
yeah.
they're on par. They're actually better. The only thing that's not exactly the same as his field goal percentage. It's not far off. It's at 47, which isn't crazy off, but he's more of a perimeter scorer anyway, so I'm not surprised. But
Well,
I'm just saying, if we going by
we'll
LeBron fans' logic, then
we'll have
it
to
ain't
wait
looking
and
good.
see what the future holds for Luca and the Lakers. So, as far as that goes, that's all I really have to say about the situation. I really don't want to talk about it anymore, but I figured I would address that part of it. Like I said, to me, it has nothing to do with
Shannon
black or
Sharp should be
white.
ashamed. He should be ashamed of himself.
Oh God.
I might
Well,
tag. I'm gonna tag
hey,
him in this
hey, you go right
on
ahead.
TikTok.
So, but no, that's all the time I really wanted to give to that. I think we've covered enough as far as that goes. It was basically just a runoff from last week. So, uh, I'm really looking forward to the games this week. I want to see what happens with the college, tournament. I think that's going to be pretty exciting, and I really want to see what happens here within the next couple of weeks as far as who's moving up the draft boards. So, as far as the NFL goes, but no matter. Next week, we hope to have how should I say, our very first interview. It's with someone that we think is doing some good work in the community that we're from, and we want to have that person on. So we look forward to that interview next week, and we hope that everybody gets a chance to tune in to that episode next week. And we hope you guys enjoyed this episode this week. Like I said, just something a little quick and light. Like I said, it's a very boring time of the season for us as far as sports and how much is out there. But it always helps that the NCAA tournament is around. It gives people something to talk about. I'm always very competitive about stuff, so I enjoy this NCAA tournament, bracket busters and stuff to that nature, right? So, want to say thank you to everybody. We hope you guys share this channel, help us out with the algorithm, and we will see you guys again on the very next episode of the Cavecast with me, Big Temp, and my co-host. You guys all love him. Say your name, Mike. Say it so I don't have to say it again.
Game type Mike,
There you
aka Mike
go.
LaFleur, aka whatever. I don't know. I was trying to think of something else, but yeah, there you go. Y'all holler at me, and make sure y'all tap into the socials, man. I'm on every platform. Just it'll be in the bio in the link. You'll see
Yes,
it.
yes.
So yeah, man, tap in, man.
We'll have them up there. So thank you everybody. We will see you guys again next episode. Y'all take it easy and we out.